Hey everyone, this is Major Batman in Lakira Studios. Today I'm going to show you how to use Timeline, the Kid Enhancement Toolkit, Polygon Studios Kids Pack, as well as Replica Studios AI Voice to recreate a scene from South Park. So I'm going to show you the scene from South Park and then show you the resulting scene, and then we'll walk through how to do it. So let's get started.
Principal? You didn't hear? Well, Cartman has some mental disease called Tourette syndrome or something. What? He's the luckiest kid in the world. If I could say shitballs to the principal, I'd be so happy.
Did Cartman just say shitballs to the principal?
You didn't hear. Cartman has a mental disease called Tourette syndrome or something.
What?
He's the luckiest kid in the world. If I could say shitballs to the principal, I would be so happy.
So that's pretty cool, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to open up a new Unity project. We're going to import our Kid Enhancement Toolkit and then also import the Polygon Kids so we get it all set up. So you can watch my other video to get that started. And we're going to first create the prefabs for the South Park Kids. Then we're going to go into Replica Studios and recreate the wave sounds. Then we'll use my phoneme generator scene to create the facial animations. Then we're going to tie it all together utilizing Unity's timeline. So let's get started. Okay, so the first character we're going to recreate is Kyle. So we just need to select a kid that works, and I think something like this might work. Now, we don't need to go with anything quite perfect, but I really think the essence of these kids is their hats, which we have a lot of choices from. So Kyle has a green hat, so and I've already kind of done some of the work here, so I'm going to go straight to it, and it is a hat called the Ushanka hat. So we see that, and one thing that isn't happening is it's brown, right? I don't have this feature yet in my toolkit, but it's something that I intend to add soon. But it's to change the colors. So if we go to open up the character and go to his hat, we have here the materials, and we can change that. So we can change it to black, we can change it to this pink and white, and the last one is green, which is exactly what we want for Kyle. So that's all we really need. We can save him. Okay, so let's move on to Butters. I think another good one perhaps for Butters is this plaid shirt, but maybe if they have it in blue. So let's change the color. See, so now we have a blue, and then right now he's bald, so let's add a hair. There's a lot of different hairstyles. We want something that's a little light on top. So maybe a mohawk would work. Or perhaps a messy hairstyle, like maybe this. It's up to you what you want to do. So we're going to utilize this, and then similar to Kyle's hat, we go over here to the person's hair, and we can change the color. And 2A for Polygon Kids is blonde, and then so we save that as well. And the prefabs get saved in saved prefabs here, and we'll rename them. And the last thing we want to do is we want to recreate Craig over here with the blue hat, blue body. So if we go, and I believe it's a sweatshirt is what we're going for. Let's see. Here we go. We're going to go with the robber. I think the robber is the right one. So we get just a blue shirt that we can work with. And so we can remove the hair. We don't necessarily need the hair, but we could add some if we want. We don't really see anything here. And then the key thing is the hat. And if we go down, they have the hat, beanie, ear flaps. So blue hat, blue body, that's a Craig. And that's all we need. So let's save that as well. So if we go to go into our saved prefabs. We have our 3 characters here. And let me delete these. This is from a previous video. This is my 3rd time making this video, so I'm hoping this works. Okay, so we have Kyle. We have Butters. And we have Craig. So now we have our 3 prefabs. The next thing we want to do is we want to recreate the wave files. So I'm going to open up Replica Studios. ReplicaStudios.com. I'll leave a link in the description that will give you an extra 30 minutes of voice generation time. And I've used this a decent amount, and I've only used 3 or 4 minutes. So it's pretty simple because most of these sentences only use 2 or 3 seconds. So it goes a long way. So the way this works is you just pick a character. So for example, so the first line is for Kyle. So we can make him sound like Atlas here. And then we just click play and it's going to generate the voice.
Did Cartman just say shitballs to the principal?
So we can go with that voice. It really doesn't matter which one you want to do because I don't think they have children at the moment. But the one I utilized is Jacob. So sounds like this.
Did Cartman just say shitballs to the principal?
And then for Butters, I chose kind of this Irishy voice by Gray.
You didn't hear. Cartman has a mental disease called Tourette syndrome or something.
I think that sounds great for a dwarf. Doesn't sound awesome coming out of Butters, but this is a parody. And then the last one for Craig, I chose Pumpkin Happy. And so we can do that. We'll play it there.
He's the luckiest kid in the world. If I could say shitballs to the principal, I would be so happy.
Okay, so we got four of the lines here. And so what we'll do is we'll just click here and download, and we'll import them into our folder. So that was pretty simple to get some AI voice rather quickly. Okay, so now let's create the facial animations. So navigate back to our project. We'll go over to our scenes, open up the phonemes. Then what we're going to want to do is we're going to bring in one of our prefabs, so we can bring in Kyle. And you might need to mess a little bit with the height of the main camera. I've been messing with it to make the adults work. So this is a feature of my Kid Enhancement Toolkit 1.01. It's compatibility with adult males and adult females, but we're using the kids, so that's what we'll work with today. So you click on phoneme generator, you drag your prefab over here, and now it's all tied together, and then we can click play. Okay, so the first thing you do is you need copy in the first line. So did Cartman just say shitballs to the principal? And we click convert to phonemes. Now, one thing to be note of is the way this works is it looks in the dictionary to determine if those phonemes have already been pre-generated, and if they haven't, it says the string's not found. So Cartman and this one were not found. Now the beauty of it is both of these words are comprised of other words. So Cartman, we can add a space in here, and same to balls, and so we can convert that, and then we don't see that the debug log doesn't go up. So we have that, and we can name this line 1. Alright, now since we have the voice line wave file saved in the project, we can go to the file and see how long it is. So 2.5 seconds. So we can adjust the speed to get the clip length down in the bottom right to 2.5 seconds. There we go. So we'll generate the animation. And he pops down here because it seems to be the default animation. And so what we're going to do is we're going to fix that in a little bit. So if you go back to phoneme generator here in the project menu, I have this audio source. And so what we can do here is we can drag the audio clip over, and we can check this play audio, and when we replay, it'll play the audio that's in this audio source. And so we'll be able to see really if it's timed well. So let's see.
Did Cartman just say shitballs to the principal?
And I think that looks pretty good. So it's already saved here in the animations folder, line 1. And so we're going to repeat the process for line 2. Rename that to line 2. Convert to phonemes. See if anything popped up. So Tourette's popped up. If we open up the project file, resources, this is the Carnegie Mellon Dictionary that I edited. And if we open it, give it a second, and scroll down to where Tourette's would be. We actually see that Tourette's is in there, but we don't have the apostrophe. So one thing is that when we convert this, I take out the apostrophe, so that could be why. But if you see here that Tourette and Tourette's, the difference is just adding the S at the end. So what we can do is we can just add a space here at the between Tourette and S, and then we can convert to phonemes, and then we can see it is added, right? Tourette syndrome. So let's double check the length of the WAV file, 4.5, and so let's edit this to 4.5. Generate the animation. So let's go back and let's add in the line. So there's an issue with this one. So let's see if we can figure this out.
You didn't hear. Cartman has a mental disease called Tourette syndrome or something.
I think that's probably fine. So let's continue on. So line 3. 0.755 seconds. So let's copy the file over. So let's hear what it says. Make sure it's good.
What?
So it looks like there's
What?
only one phoneme or visine that is used on the animation clip. So the W, A, H, and T all seem to have the same syllable when viewed speaking. And I'm not exactly sure if that's true. There seems to be some mouth movement. So, but I think it works. Okay, and then now that line 3 is done, let's do line 4. He is the luckiest kid in the world. If I could say, remember we have to space this out. I would be so happy. We can convert to the phonemes. Let's label this animation line 4. Double check the length, 7.82 seconds. Copy this over. 7.82 seconds. That seems to work. Generate the animation. And let's replay this and let's see how it matches up.
He's the luckiest kid in the world. If I could say shitballs to the principal, I would be so happy.
So it sort of lines up at the end and in the beginning, but when there's that pause, like I said, I think it needs to be a little bit longer. So let's add another half-second pause. Let's add 2 of those, and click generate. And then let's go back and check the time, 7.8. So okay, let me generate that again. So overwrite, we have the sound in here, and then let's replay.
He's the luckiest kid in the world.
Close.
If I could say shitballs to the principal, I would be so happy.
And pretty good, right? And that's it. So now we have the WAV files, we have the prefabs, and we have the sound. So let's put it all together. Okay, so I'm going to open up a scene from Polygon Heist. So this is what we're going to use just to demo this. All right, we're set up here. All right, one thing that what we're going to do is we're going to import timeline. So if you haven't already, you just go to the package manager. You go to the Unity registry. You go to the Unity registry, and you look for timeline, and you just want to import this into your project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 empties. Oh, let's go to scene view. We're going to reset that. We're going to drag it over. Okay, so the reason we do this is with timeline, it when the animations begin, it likes to teleport the individual to the 000 of the parent object. And so if you don't parent it to something else, what happens is it takes the 000 from the demo scene or the scene view, and then so it just teleports the character. And maybe there's a way around it. I just haven't looked into it too closely, but this is the workaround. So you create 3 game objects. So we're going to create 1, 2, 3, right? And then what we'll do is we're going to copy over prefabs. So so Kyle's on the left, and then Craig is on the right, and Butters is in the middle. And so we're going to rotate those 180. Okay, so they are now in the order that we wanted it to. If we look at the scene view, we can see that they are roughly there. So let's adjust the camera over a little bit. Maybe let's zoom it in a little bit into them. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click our timeline, and then let's bring this up a little bit so we can see both the time view and our project, because we're going to bring in different files. So we're going to create a timeline for Kyle. And you can just save it wherever, and it creates a timeline for Kyle. And so Kyle has line 1, right? And then he has a line 3. So that's the wave files. So let's go to our animations, and let's bring over line 1 animation and then line 3 animation. Okay, so we have line 1's lines 3, and if we just did this, right? Just looked in the scene view. He's down at the ground. It will play, but he's going to play in the ground. And so the way around that is to create another animation track, select Kyle, and then give him an animation. So for example, we can just give him, I think this one, and then we can turn him into an idle afterwards so that he has some life. Right? So if we play this, now he'll be there and he'll look like he's talking.
Did Cartman just say shitballs to the principal? What?
And he's moving around. And it works, right? Okay, so now let's do the other 2. So let's go to Butters. We'll create this director opponent. We'll put it in our saved here. Okay, so we want to add in his line 2. And then we have a line 2 for the wave file. And then we want to add in a just general animation as well. Okay, so, and let's select this animation for Butters. Now, if you press play on the game, this is what's going to happen.
You
Did
didn't
Cartman
hear.
just say
Cartman
shitballs to
has
the
a mental
principal?
disease called Tourette syndrome or something.
So with
What?
and there goes the what. Okay, so what was happening was both timelines were going at the exact same time, and there's probably a way to like hierarchy timeline so you can basically put a timeline in another timeline, and I haven't quite figured that out yet. But the way I know how to do it is if we go to Kyle, we can see that line 1 ends at about 150 frames, so we can start Butters at 180. So let's just click all this and move it over to 180, and then he ends about 460-ish, so we can start Kyle's second phrase at 480. So let's go back to Kyle and let's move these over to 480. Okay, so let's add in Craig. Let's add in his line 4. Let's add in his wave file. Line that up a little bit. And then let's add in an animation track. And add in an animation for him. Okay, so we have his neutral idle to this. Let's make sure it's lined up well. So remember, Butters has line 2, ends at 480, where Kyle now starts. So we can start Craig at 540. Let's go Craig at 540. Okay, so we have that in there. And it should all work together. All we have to do is basically make sure that there's an animation track that goes longer than where Craig ends to, so about 1,000. So let's make sure Butters has an animation that goes to 1,000, which he doesn't. So let's just add maybe a breathing animation in the beginning that goes into the happy idle, and let's go to a thoughtful head shake afterwards. Now all these animations were taken from Mixamo, which is awesome. I highly recommend utilizing them. Okay, so if I did everything right, what should happen is when I press play, we will get the scene that we want, and it'll be all timed out. So let's do that.
Did Cartman just say shitballs to...
If I could.
Okay, so the issue with Craig is the animation wasn't selected for him. So let's go back and select Craig. Okay, so let's do this one more time.
Did Cartman just say shitballs to the principal?
You didn't hear. Cartman has a mental disease called Tourette syndrome or something.
What?
He's the luckiest kid in the world. If I could say shitballs to the principal, I would be so happy.
And there we have it, recreating a scene in South Park utilizing my Kid Enhancement Toolkit, the Polygon Kids asset from Cinti Studios, and Replica Studios voice AI actors. And we did this in maybe 15 minutes or so, and teaching you along the way. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did. Check out my tool. It's on sale for another week, I believe, and links down in the description. Join our Discord if you'd like to talk more about this. Well, have a great day.